Welcome everyone, Dylan Gemelli here today with a brand new video for you. So today we're going to talk about Dbol or Dianabol. So, I have to reiterate to you that I am not a doctor and that anything that I say in these videos is for your entertainment purposes only. I'm not insinuating, advising, nor telling you to use any of the things that we talk about here, and what you do with this information is completely and utterly up to you. So, let's just do a quick little bit of history on it. So, Dr. Bosley Ziegler was the first distributor of Dbol to the United States Olympic athletes. Now, this was only done because he was suspicious at the 1960 European Championships that the Russians were doping their athletes, and guess what? He was right about it. And after he started giving Dbol to U.S. athletes, obviously it didn't take very long to see the performance-enhancing benefits were huge. And, you know, there was actually, back then, there was a Cold War doping battle for years until the proper anti-doping testing was actually developed. So, you know, interesting to see a little background on it. So, what is it? Well, Dianabol is known as Dbol, so we're just going to call it Dbol. Nobody calls it Dianabol. It's commonly known as Dbol. It's a very historical steroid. What does that mean? Well, it's the second steroid to actually be produced after pure testosterone derivatives. And I don't mean different esters of testosterone like N-enthate, cypionate. I mean straight testosterone suspension. So Dbol was like the first steroid, basically. It's essentially oral testosterone, okay? Except for two differences. One of those differences is that it's added a double carbon bond at the 1-2 and 2. And it's 17 alpha alkylated, which means that it can, actually enter the liver and pass into the body without being destroyed. Now, at the same time, the added carbon bond is actually supposed to reduce aromatization, meaning convert less into estrogen. Well, it doesn't do great at that considering the high amounts of estrogen conversion there is. So you can imagine if that wasn't added. Now, let's talk about side effects. Actually, Dbol was originally designed to aromatize less than testosterone. That didn't work out very well. It ended up being a lot more estrogenic than it was first thought. It converts into a potent estrogen in the body, which would then explain the bloating, the high blood pressure, the gynecomastia, the headaches, things that are caused by prolonged use. All right? With prolonged use, Dbol can be hepatotoxic. Now, what does that mean? It means it can damage the liver. It can cause health problems. And, it's a slew of health problems. There's anecdotal evidence of back pumps that have been related to possible problems with kidney and blood flow issues. People that use Dbol will attest to this. You'll see it all over forums, people complaining about wretched and horrible and crippling back pumps when using Dbol. What is a back pump? Well, you feel that horrible pain. So like, say you're doing a squat, you go down, your back just will give out, but it's not giving out because it's out of place or popped. It's these excruciating pumps that you feel in your back. So it's definitely advisable that you protect against this. You can mitigate it. Taurine helps. You need cycle protection. That's like DGA Organ ST, full cycle protection. Because when we're talking about hepatotoxicity here, we're talking about blood pressure, liver, kidneys, all right? Cholesterol. You need all-in-one protectants. Then on top of that, you've got estrogen spikes, water retention, gynecomastia. It's a suppressive steroid. Steroids cause testosterone suppression. What is testosterone suppression? Suppression of your natural testosterone levels, meaning that they start to plummet. Suppression, lowering, in simple terms. So, Dbol should not be used by women because it can have some masculine effects as well. Essentially, it will turn women into men, and it will do it at a fast rate. Virilization issues. So, let's talk about Dbol, how to use it, dosages, things like that, because I see people all over the place with it. Dbol is used as a bulking steroid. I think we all know that. It produces a lot of wet, puffy-looking gains. It's mostly added as a kickstart to bulking steroid cycles during the first 4 to 6 weeks. Now, this is actually done because it's trying to allow the longer ester injectable steroid to produce results, while the Dbol provides quick gains because it acts fast. strength, size, mass, confidence. It's usually stacked with testosterone and whatever other compounds that you're using, but generally speaking, it's only used for bulking. You can try to cut with any steroid you want. Clearly, it's going to be a lot more difficult to cut with Dbol. Is it impossible? No. Is it smart? No. Is it likely? No. I just don't want to say something's impossible when it's not, but there's a difference between impossible and not likely, all right? Or probable, and it's not probable either that you're going to cut with it, just so that we're aware. I don't personally recommend running it without testosterone. There's some guys that will argue that that's fine. You can do oral-only cycles. Anybody that knows me knows that I don't care for them. I don't like them. I don't think they're nearly as effective. I think there's more problems there. But I'm not saying I haven't seen people do well with them, because I have. But it's not as common to do well with them. Now, Dbol, dosing. I never recommend going over 30 milligrams a day. I see people running at 50 milligrams a day, but it's just like one of those things. More is not always better. More often means more problems. Something as strong as Dbol means that there's going to be a lot of side effects, and the more that you use, the more problems you're going to have, which means you're going to probably keep less of your gains. Dbol gains are not easy to keep as it is. But why make it even harder on yourself? When 30 milligrams a day is still going to give you a lot of results, it's going to keep the side effects lower, which means that you're going to have an easier time running it and getting through the cycle and actually keeping some of the gains that you're working so hard for. I don't recommend going over 4 weeks of it either. 6 weeks is just too long. You can do it. I've seen some people do it. I'm not saying you can't. But for most people, it proves to be more problematic than beneficial. So I would say to keep it 4 weeks, 30 milligrams. I don't see any possible scenario or reason to go longer or higher than that. But to each their own. You run it however you feel like doing it. This is simply my thinking on it from what I've observed over all these years and what I find to be beneficial for most and more detrimental to others. So, Dbol is used for bulking. You're going to get a lot of strength, a lot of size. This is just general common knowledge and what it's used for. But there's also people, many people that like it because of the euphoric feeling it gives you. Many people feel like they're almost godlike is what it's described as. Just feeling on top of the world, feeling great. Some steroids will make you feel like, dog crap. And some are going to make you feel, sorry, but I'm cutting out all the swearing so there's never any issue and I'm not offending anybody because we know we've got touchy people out there. And honestly, I have had some people tell me that they watch these and their kids can hear them, which I really don't know why you would be watching a steroid video around your kids. But regardless, I don't want to offend any kids, especially, okay, or parents, that want me to be respectful. That is, in all seriousness, I'm a big proponent of the kids and teaching them the right ways and etc. So I do get that, and that's why I said crap there, where that I really don't want to. But back to the point here is that a lot of steroids do make you feel terrible, while Dbol actually, as long as you're not getting gynecomastia issues and blood pressure and the back pumps, generally speaking, it makes you feel pretty good, euphoric feeling. But there are other issues that you have to be aware of that can cause you some problems. So that is Dbol, my friends, in a nutshell. So I just want to make sure I got all that information out there to you. www.icearms.com/forums. I'm also on the Elite Fitness Forum as well as the Evolutionary Forum. You can also email me, Dylan@icearms.com, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That being said, stay tuned for plenty more to come. Dylan Gemelli, signing off.